Hey, y'all, you need to do this before you do your first workshops, before you do your first challenges, before you do your first anything in your business. What am I talking about? I recently talked to a few people who were told to do challenges in their business. You can grow your business using a challenge. Y'all, challenges can be an absolutely awesome way to grow a business. You see it in a lot of really big online entrepreneurs. You see it all the time. It works like a treat. But there's a caveat that nobody is talking about. And that is that people have to already know, like, and trust you. And hey, Tish, good to see you. Before you start promoting, before you start putting stuff out, before you start blasting out that workshop everywhere, you need to have a network going. And if you don't have friends, if you have not been working on growing your network, it's kind of like the guys who would reach out to me, that I haven't heard from in 5 years, but I had worked with them back at one of these large corporations I was at. And they suddenly want me to write them a letter of recommendation. They want me to do this, they want me to do that. And I haven't talked to you in forever. And it's kind of like the who are you and why are you contacting me? Oh, you want me to help you get a new job. And hey, Maria, good to see you. So here's the thing, when you are getting ready to do a launch, before you do the launch, before you do the workshop, this is the piece that nobody tells you. You need a network, you need a platform, you need to build relationships. Now, there's lots of ways to do this. There's no one right way to do it, but I can guarantee you that scrolling on Facebook and never commenting on anything is probably not going to be it. It is probably going to cause you more heartache and grief than ever. So, what are you going to do? Here's some options for you because I don't believe in one size fits all, and sometimes you need to do all of them. Hey, Lauren. Hey, Maria. Hey, everybody. So, first thing you're going to need to do is network. Go to networking meetings, get to know people. And I'm not just talking about go to a networking meeting, hand out your business card to people, drop your link, and run. That doesn't work because people can't remember who you are. Networking meetings are, in a lot of cases, a dog and pony show. It's that opportunity to take that relationship to the next level, but you're not really going to have enough time with somebody at a networking meeting to do full blown one on ones and build relationships. But if you get to know them a bit, have a one to one with them, then they will definitely be somebody you maybe should invite to your Facebook group or your page after you've gotten to know them a little bit. So, first one is networking with follow on meetings afterwards. If you're not doing these follow on meetings afterwards, honestly, you're wasting your time because you're not getting to know people. Because one of the things you should be asking in those networking follow up meetings, in the one to ones, is for introductions to whoever your target audience is. Right now, I'm looking for introductions to the administration at Duke's, UNC's, and North Carolina Central's law schools so that I can offer to teach social media and basic marketing classes to their graduating seniors for free. So if you know of anybody that would be happy to have that introduction, let me know. So go out, go meet people. The next thing you need to do is choose a few favorable Facebook groups. Network with a purpose. Have an intention in mind, right? You're not trying to use people, but you might be able to help them too, right? So you're going to Go into 2 or 3 Facebook groups. I'm not a big believer in going into every single Facebook group out there and driving yourself mad and crazy. Comment on other people's posts. Too often we're scared to comment and we get caught in the scroll. Oh, I might find some useful content in here somewhere. Y'all, yeah, you might find some useful content in there somewhere because eventually, Facebook being what Facebook is or Instagram or whatever, it's going to try to show you something that you're going to find interesting. Be purposeful about it. You can waste 8 or 10 hours a day networking and scrolling on Facebook. You can waste 24 hours a day scrolling on Facebook or on TikTok or wherever. That's not what we're here for. We're here for intentional networking and connecting with people. So you're going to comment on other people's posts, because here's a tip for you for social media. In order to get them to see your posts, you have to actually interact with each other. And once you've interacted with each other a few times, it may be a good time to send somebody a Facebook friend request or start having a conversation with them through Messenger. How much time do I intentionally network each day? Honestly, I spend about a half an hour to an hour a day. It's not that much compared to probably what you guys think. A lot of times you're going to see me post in the group in Women's Entrepreneur Network, and I'm going to be in, out, and done in about 15-minute blocks. I don't really have much more time than that to really play in the group anymore. Today, my meetings started at 9 a.m. and I was in meetings until 5-ish, and then I had a couple of calls that I hopped on with people that I was on calls until about 6:30. Normally I block off that during my dinner time, but my dinner time got shifted later. So now I'm just hopping back online again to check email and wind down for the day. So it's really very targeted. It's really just about an hour a day. I'm building relationships with people. Once I've started having conversations with them, then I may invite them to my Facebook group. Then I may invite them to my thing, my workshop, my networking meeting, my whatever. But I'm not doing it as a cold message. And part of the reason I'm not doing it as a cold message is because it reads as really weird when you're cold messaging people that you've never interacted with and said, hey, come to my thing. Some people may take it okay, but a lot of people don't. And that is kind of, running the hairy edge of ending up in Facebook jail. Now, one thing that we do is, when somebody joins one of the things I'm doing. So right now I'm doing a 30-day sprint and I'm offering people a 15-minute goal setting call. And it's really not a sales thing. It's really a connect with me thing. So I get to know you before we can even see out of, whether it's even a thing for us. So I have somebody on my team who is, messaging people and we're emailing them and trying to get in touch with them. But that's like intentionally reaching out to somebody who's already joined a group or already done and taken some action. Yeah, just got out of jail, right? So you've got to be careful about how much you're messaging people and what you're messaging them. Sending people a friend request and then sending them an invite using the Facebook invite button for your Facebook group is going to tend to wind you up in Facebook jail. I've seen people lose entirely access to their account for 30 days. It's just not a happy place to be. So you really want to make sure that you are moving it in the right direction. So what are some other things that you can do? You want to make sure that you are being intentional about your audience selection. Intentional networking with a purpose. Are you hanging out with the right people? Are you building your networks with people you would maybe want to do business or who know the people you want to do business with? It's really hard to get an introduction if you're not hanging out in the right circles. So you want to build your network. You want to build that name recognition and you want to start gathering people together, whether it's offering them a freebie or inviting them as a friend or doing something to kind of start gathering them together. One of the downsides of Facebook is that you can only have 5,000 friends. That can be a way to get people into your group to start with, but it's also kind of a little bit dicey at times. But you can absolutely friend request somebody, get to know them a little bit, and then you can say, maybe invite them to your Facebook group or your challenge or whatever. That can be very effective. If you only have 150 friends on Facebook and that's where you're starting with, as long as you make sure that your profile looks really good and you start sending out friend requests and connecting with people that are already interacting with you, that could be a very successful way to build your network. At the end of the day, it's all about numbers. Do I recommend all entrepreneurs have a group? No, I don't. My home inspector definitely doesn't have a group. Some of my attorney clients do not have Facebook groups. It really depends on the business and the nature of the business. Everything in business, you're going to learn that I'm going to answer you of it depends. It really does depend on your business and how much time you want to spend marketing and how you want to spend marketing it. I'm also going to be really blunt. If you have a service-based business, like you are a roofer or a plumber or whatever, you're definitely not going to have a Facebook group. But you're probably going to be, at least initially, looking at doing Facebook ads or Google ads or some kind of ads to generate leads in your business, or you're going to be using Home Advisor to purchase ads. Home Advisor is probably your cheapest way first to get ads in a business, at least initially. After that, it's going to be a lot more expensive. So the answer in business is it all depends. With one exception. Your growth for your business is going to be much easier if you have a network and a platform to build off of. People that grow their businesses quickly, that scale their businesses super quickly, most of the time have taken the time prior to starting the business to have a network, to have trusted connections, to have valuable connections of people that they've already built the relationships with that are willing to introduce them to do certain things. So why am I talking about this? I'm talking about this because I see a lot of people start to do challenges and start to do workshops, and they fail miserably. If you don't have anybody in your network or in your circle who fits your version of who your clients maybe could start to look like, if you don't have any of those connections, chances are it's going to be really, really hard to market to get those people. That's one of the things we work on for us with my business, with Intuitive Business Solutions, is really focusing on building those networks. A lot of times we're doing it through our masterminds and we're doing it in other ways. Because you have to be smart with how you do it. Going straight into hardcore ads can work provided you have enough of a budget to get over the initial hump and through the learning phase that it's going to take to learn and figure out your audience. And how much is it going to take? I don't know. It's going to depend on exactly how niche down your audience is and how well you already have a good idea of what your audience is going to look like, which is why I'm a little bit twitchy when we talk about going straight to ads with a brand new entrepreneur, because you don't already have an audience. You don't already have any kind of an email list. You don't have any kinds of numbers. So right now, I say look at the numbers of people that you're connected with. Look at the quality of your connections. If you are not connected to people, network, do one-to-ones, meet with people, build real relationships. Now, I've heard a lot of people that whine about, well, I was meeting people and all they ever wanted from me was for me to buy their stuff. Maybe to some extent, some people do that. If you have people who are good at networking and good at connecting, most of us don't really care if you're here to buy our stuff because I know that I'm eventually going to get the referrals. And I'm going to get better referrals because you're going to be able to find me the exact customers that I'm looking for. So, it's a tough lesson and it's a tough message sometimes. You have to start with your platform. You have to start with recognition. Doing lives in Women's Entrepreneur Network is a great way to do it. To build that platform. Doing other types of things to get you out in front of people is a good way to start building a platform. But as people start to interact with you, you have to interact back. If you're not interacting back, if you're not connecting with people, if you're not pushing yourself out of the discomfort zone, you're going to struggle with it a bunch. And a lot of people will say, but Haley, I'm an introvert. I'm really scared of doing that. And I'm going to be honest when I tell you, y'all, I'm an engineer with MBA. Neither one of those exactly scream extrovert. I like people just fine, but commenting on other people's posts, putting myself out there, going to networking meetings is definitely something that was not in my comfort zone when I started this. I would actually go to networking meetings and I've lost a lot of weight, but when I started, I was close to 400 pounds. And I would go to a networking meeting and I'm claustrophobic and I don't like to bump people because I was heavy. And if I bump somebody, I'm likely to really knock them over. And then, you talk about, okay, so I can't navigate through the room, but I feel like I'm locked into a corner. And, I'm like climbing the walls, practically getting to go to a networking meeting. And it was really terrifying for me to start with. And then I had to learn some techniques to get through networking meetings that worked well. In-person networking meetings are tough because people aren't always as friendly as they should be. They think that they're being perfectly friendly, but they're maybe not reaching out and being as welcoming as they should be. So you have to make a point of going in and talking to 2 to 3 to 4 people at each networking meeting. I don't personally go in and try to work the entire room. I go in and I try to get to know people. I try to introduce myself to people and I try to get people scheduled to do a one-to-one after the meeting. Or I get their card and I email them or text them to schedule one-to-ones after it. If I'm doing a virtual networking meeting like the WEN networking meeting that we're doing tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, and I hope that you can come, a lot of times, I'm gathering people's information. Y'all, if you're on a Zoom chat, you can actually save the contact information that people post in the Zoom chat, and then you can message people and see if you can get them onto a call. It works a treat. The cool thing is that you can make it clear that it's absolutely not a sales call. It is just a get to know you call. The more people you get to know, the more people you build that know, like, and trust factor with, the faster your network is going to grow. Start to get to know people, see who you click with, who you don't, who are your best clients, and, build those relationships. Not necessarily in a spammy way, but intentionally building your network. Another good thing is, and thank you, Tish, I am looking forward to seeing you there too. Another really good thing to think about is that, there are going to be people in there that are better referral partners for you than others. And some people you're going to be able to refer to. So go looking for people that you can send referrals to. It is amazing how well the whole thing works with networking if you're able to give referrals to people. So I may be looking for somebody who can do credit card processing. I may be looking for somebody who does CPA stuff. I may be looking for business attorneys. I'm looking for those types of people who are in the B2B space that I can actually refer to. I have a local videographer that I can refer to. So, make sure that you have people that you can refer to and that you are passing referrals. I pass referrals all the time to a couple of my friends who are divorce attorneys. So make sure that you are building those referrals and they do start to come back to you. It's not all about you getting. I'm a big believer in the book, The Go-Giver, from Bob Burg, and I'm pulling it up over here. This book is a really good book about how to build that network. and that power of that network by giving. Build the network early. Give it a couple of months at least, solidly reaching out to people, being visible, comment on other people's posts, don't just post. And you'll be amazed at how fast your network starts to grow, even in just a couple of months. And it will give you a much better chance of a successful launch. I see too many people going straight to the launch without the pre work beforehand. You've got to warm up your audience, and you've got to have an audience to launch to in order to have a successful launch. Or you need to be able to launch to somebody else's audience. But hey, here's the thing, you need those connections to be able to launch to their audience. So if you don't have those connections, if you don't have that network, if you don't have those affiliates in place, well, your job beforehand is to get all of those affiliates in place and get them to interview you, get them to send out emails to their lists for you, get them to do those things for you so that you can be visible. So I hope that this helps just a little bit. Let me know if you would like to schedule a one-to-one meeting. I would love to get to know each of you individually. A lot of people say I can be really intimidating. Honestly, I'm a really sweet teddy bear, but I've got a really mean case of RBF. So let's talk. Let's be friends. Let's connect. And we will talk soon. Love you guys and hope that you have an awesome evening. Bye-bye.